Arrest and shooting of Paraguay footballer. All right, this is the assailant right here. I don't know who these other goofs are. This is the dude right here. JJ. Mexico City, a fugitive suspect wanted in last year's near-fatal bar shooting of Salvador Cabañas, a former star of Paraguay's national football team and Mexico's Club America, was arrested in the Mexican capital Tuesday. José Jorge Balderas, known by his initials JJ, was arrested during an operation in a wealthy neighborhood of Mexico City. Federal Public Safety Department Anti-Drug Division Chief Ramon Eduardo Pequeño said in a news conference. Pequeño said Balderas denied shooting Cabañas and instead blamed his bodyguard who was arrested last year. So Balderas was already snitching. No waiting there, you know. Hey, man, he did it, man. The bodyguard did it, man. It wasn't me. Pequeño said Balderas denied shooting Cabañas and instead blamed his bodyguard who was arrested last year. Balderas said the incident happened when he entered the bathroom and encountered Salvador Cabañas and asked for permission to use the toilet, according to Pequeño. He asked permission? Come on, who's he asking permission to? He added that the suspect told investigators the football player reacted in an aggressive manner, both verbally and physically. Right then, the bodyguard entered and shot Cabanas in the head at close range. Balderas allegedly fled. That's not a bodyguard you need to have with you all the time, bro. That's not the right guy, bro. Shit just gets a little aggravated and bow. Apuro balazos like that, wrong guy to take with you anywhere. That's the guy to leave at the crib, bro. He'll get you smoked quicker than he'll save your life. Witnesses have said that Cabañas and Balderas got into an argument when Balderas questioned the Paraguayan's performance for his club. Always question the guy. And sometimes he might be telling the truth. But always question the guy that, I didn't do nothing. I just said, excuse me, sir, would you mind if I used this urinal? All politely and shit. Nah, you might be lying. You might have went in there and said, why you a bum, bro? You can't score shit. You short as shit. Get your ass out of here before I slap you at this urinal. He probably said all that shit, and then it went left. But nobody wants to say that. Cabañas miraculously survived the January 25th shooting but is not expected to return to football. His shooting months before the 2010 World Cup in South Africa rocked Paraguay's national team, which had expected to field him as a starring player. Balderas is an alleged associate of purported drug lord Edgar Valdez Villarreal, known as Labarbi, who was arrested last year. According to a transcript released by Mexican authorities, Valdez told investigators he helped Balderas hide on the outskirts of Mexico City for about 3 months following the shooting. So for those that didn't catch our El analysis on the interrogation of Labarbi, make sure you check that out. In Paraguay, Cabañas' brother-in-law, Amancio Rojas, said Balderas' arrest could help us learn the truth behind why this tragedy happened. Salvador's family members hoped the presumed aggressor says why he attacked him, said Rojas, who was married to Cabañas' sister. Cabañas declined to talk to reporters on the recommendation of his doctor. All right? So there it is. We heard the official story. The story that they tell their parents or the principal. I simply went in there with all the manners of a dignitary and asked him if I may use the commode. He told me, a la verga, fuck you, get the fuck out of here, cabrón. And he smacked me in the face, so my security guard blazed his melon. What? I don't know that happened, bro. You wild. I was so polite. How dare he strike out at me with violence? Dude really messed up Cabañas' life and career. He was at his prime. He was just about to go to the World Cup and get a contract in Europe. Well, that's my point. Like, for them, reasoning could be, well, I said something slick to him and he didn't shut the fuck up. Well, everybody got to shut the fuck up. He lost in that exchange. You should have seen that coming. He should have had a bodyguard of his own. But yeah, these guys get fucked up. They go out to a party. They talk shit to somebody. Shit goes left. And then they be like, oh, because he reacted like this. Well, how about you should have left him the fuck alone? How about that? No? No leaving him alone? Because you're you? You wildin'. And again, never meet your heroes. Maybe the soccer player was being a dick. This is Salvador Cabañas himself. I have forgiven the man who shot me and ended my career. Former Paraguay international Salvador Cabañas says he has forgiven the man who shot him in the head 6 years ago, ending his playing career. Cabañas said he had received an offer to join Manchester United prior to the shooting, which happened in a Mexico City nightclub in January 2010. The 36-year-old said He was now looking to a future in coaching and aimed to become a good professional. Speaking in Spain, where the Paraguayan community is honoring him in several cities around the country, he told Cabanas Radio, "I have forgiven the man that shot me in the head. I haven't forgotten his face, but I have forgiven him, and I have no problem in saying that. What he took away from me was my football career, not to be able to do what I loved the most. Back then, I had many offers from European teams, but the most complete one was from Manchester United at that time, and I was on the verge of going there." Cabañas, who still has the bullet lodged in his head, attempted a comeback 27 months after the incident and played for Paraguayan 3rd Division side 12 de Octubre, where he began his career in 1997, but he explained, "Had I wanted to keep playing, I would have had to have taken the bullet out, but it's very dangerous to have it removed because it's in the back of my head." So, yeah, all of that jostling and playing the game and falling over and getting knocked over, shit. You dislodge that bullet in your brain and it shifts a millimeter, a trillimeter to the left, a trillimeter to the right. Boom, you fall out. It's a difficult situation not to be able to play, and I had to learn to live with it. But I'm lucky I survived. I'm well and fully recovered. I would like to be a coach. I'm thinking of becoming a coach in Paraguay. I want to become a good professional. Look at him, man. That guy survived the headshot. Said God's giving me many things. He gave me my life again. Because like the doctor said, I had already lost my life. He said what saved me was football, the vitamins, the way I lived, my health. He said, I remember everything. And the moment it was done to me, we went to a bar, me, my date, and a friend. Or me, my partner, and a friend. What vitamin he on? We need them vitamins, huh? I was doing my business in the bathroom. Some guy turned around and told me, "Are you Cabañas?" And I said, "Yes. What can I do for you?" He said, "You can't do nothing for me." He said, "Just stop robbing us Mexicans." What? "I'm not stealing. I'm here to work." He said, "Nah, this is the last day you're going to live." And he took out the hammer and he pointed it to my face. He said, "Make your last wish because you're about to die." I said, "I'm not going to die." I told him, "I'm not going to die." He told him, "I'm not going to die today." He said, "Matter of fact, why you shaking?" Dude said, "I'm not shaking." He said, "Maybe you see that because you're about to die and you can imagine I'm shaking." He said, and I told him, "Well, then what the fuck you waiting for? You've been here for 10 minutes pointing that gun at me and telling me things and you ain't shot me yet." And then after a little bit, he pulled the trigger. I don't know what happened to him, but I forgive him. The bullet's there, the bullet's calcified, and it's dangerous to take out, and it's better to just leave it there. I believe that story, even though he's talking like he was, glad standing. Listen, I believe that other dude was probably lit, drunk off his ass. Again, that's all it takes. A drunk motherfucker with a gun. That's it, easy. Motherfucker was on coke when he got shot. That's the vitamin. Motherfucker was on coke who shot him. That sounds like a stupid drunk bathroom bar conversation, man. I worked in many bars in my life. I've had many stupid bathroom bar confrontations. Sounds like a stupid bar confrontation. Yep. Some liquor and periquito is the recipe to do shit like that, indeed. I'm not saying Salvador started that shit, but them dudes from that country are like Native Americans when they drink too. But that's my point. You can't give a lane power. That man wasn't bothering you. You mad because you told him to eat shit. He told you to eat shit right back. I don't understand those kind of people. That shit is weird. How the drug trafficker Labarbi knew everything about the shooting that almost killed Paraguayan footballer Salvador Cabañas. The former leader of the Beltran-Leyva cartel, sentenced this Monday to 49 years in prison in the United States of America, had revealed details about the attack against a player in a nightclub in Mexico City. Drug trafficker Edgar Valdez Villarreal Labarbi, who was an important figure in the Mexican Beltran-Leyva cartel, who was sentenced this Monday in the U.S. to 49 years and 1 month in prison on charges of cocaine trafficking and money laundering, played an important role in the case of Paraguayan soccer player Salvador Cabañas. On January 25, 2010, he was shot in the head in Mexico City after an argument with one of the operators of Labarbi, the drug trafficker José Jorge Balderas Garza, El JJ, in a nightclub in the Aztec capital. The shot kept the player in a coma for several weeks, caused irreversible injuries, and he was never able to recover his career as a football star. In a video of an interrogation of Labarbi, released by the Mexican government in September 2010, the drug lord revealed important details about the case that, until then were not very clear. Among the details revealed by the drug lord are that Cabañas and El JJ, accused of shooting him, were friends. Also, that for 3 months he had hidden Balderas Garza in an office in the state of Mexico, next to the capital, and that at that time he could have been hiding in Colombia. So he could have been hiding in Colombia, but he wasn't. What did I tell him that? What did I tell him at that time? Labarbi was asked. What did you tell him at that time? Labarbi was asked. Well, what had happened? Again, we went through this in our translation. Make sure y'all check that out. Well, what had happened? I had just told him not to be out on the street, and what he said, that's how it happened. I scolded him, but he already done what he wanted. They were friends, but Cabañas was in a bad mood that day, and they started arguing. Afterward, I put him in one of my offices in Atizapan. He was there for about 3 months. The drug trafficker was arrested on January 18, 2011 in Mexico City, where he was distributing drugs in bars in the capital, along with his then girlfriend, Colombian model Juliana Sosa, who was released. He remains in prison. Cabañas announced his retirement in 2014. Edgar Valdez Villarreal also had ties to the Sinaloa cartel. For 2 decades, he was involved in drug trafficking, and in that activity he became known for his use of violence and intimidation against his rivals. After his foray into cocaine trafficking, Valdez Villarreal allied himself with drug traffickers Arturo Beltran Leiva and Joaquin Guzman Loera El Chapo to traffic cocaine from Mexico, Colombia, and other South American countries to the United States of America. Do you know JJ? Yes, I know him. How do you know him? Does he work for you? No, he works alone, but for a while he lived in Nuevo Laredo. And when I came to the state of Mexico, he came too. They knew he was my friend, and they also wanted to kill him. I never worked with him over there. And here in Mexico, he was with me, but later he went on his own way, and I supported him. If he needed something, I would give him a hand. Did you find out about the attack on Salvador Cabañas? Yes. Did he talk to you? Who? JJ? Yes, he talked to me. What did he tell you about the situation? About what happened? I told him not to be out in the streets. And from what he said, right, that's how it happened. I only found out the next day because it was already dawn. I scolded him, but he already done what he did. So he said nothing. He said, hey, man, he went, he did what he did. I scolded him, but he already done what he did. Told him stay his ass out the street. I hit him. If he ever needed anything, I was there for him. Listen to that logic. Just imagine it. This is how people do this type of shit. This is that manipulation I be talking about. They manipulate not only you, they manipulate themselves. They believe their own lie. Let's just say, for instance, for example, from imagination, from tinfoil hat land, the guy went in there disrespectful. Fuck you, Cabañas, you can't do shit. Cabañas turn around and cuss him back. They'll say Cabañas was in a bad mood and not JJ. JJ was in a mood to come and talk shit. That's not a mood. Why I gotta be the one in the bad mood because I'm responding to your shit, to your negativity? And you scolded him, and what happened with JJ? What did he do? Well, afterwards, I put him in one of my offices. Where? In Atizapan. He stayed for about 3 months. He says here they were friends at that time. Nobody knew that they were friends. It sounds like he let the cat out the bag because I've even heard JJ say that, we didn't know each other like that. JJ probably lost a bet. Cool, stop gambling. Fuck out my face. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking to me for? This is crazy. And eventually we're going to dig into Barbie's videos and how he made those torture videos trendy. And then we're going to go back and talk about again how he was begging for water after a 1 block jog while being arrested. All right, then they gave JJ 20 years in prison. Suspect in 2010 shooting of Salvador Cabañas gets 20 years in jail. The man suspected of shooting former Paraguay national football team standout Salvador Cabañas in the head in 2010, effectively ending his career, has been sentenced to 20 years in prison in Mexico, authorities announced Sunday. But federal prosecutors said in a statement that the man identified as José Jorge B. was sentenced for organized crime, not attempted murder. What? He didn't catch an attempted murder charge on that? So they got him for organized crime, but not an attempted murder. Why? What is the logic behind that? Is there some protection going on there, or somebody got their noodle rocked? Multiple Mexican media outlets said that the sentenced man was José Jorge Balderas Garza, alias El JJ, an alleged associate of former Beltran Labor cartel associated with the Beltran labor cartel. The newspaper El Universal said the judgment was not related to the attack on the player. So what he went to prison for was a whole different case. Shout out Velez. It's Mexico, Shy. You're not new to this. So why does he cop to it? Well, because he was arrested for it? I don't know, bro. In February of that year, he was reportedly selling bread with his parents back home in Paraguay after having lost everything. Cabañas scored 125 goals in 218 games in Mexico and had attracted interest from England's Premier League before the shooting. In 2007, he was named South America Soccer Player of the Year by the Uruguayan newspaper El País. It was the first time a player in the Mexican League was given that honor. I had seen that his wife did him dirty and took his shit. The soccer player? The soccer player's wife did him dirty and took his shit? Yeah, supposedly left him broke. Ah, man, boy, if it ain't a bullet, it's a woman. Same thing. All right, different delivery process, but same thing. All right, here's where we get to the allegations. This is where the story changes. Ironically, or not ironically, when the extra crema, when the allegations begin, Annabelle Hernandez pops up. All right? But whenever the shit turned into bochinche, huh? Chisme, whenever it turned into that shit, she pops up. In the early hours of January 25th, 2010, Mexican soccer was paralyzed by terrible news. Horrible pun right there. That is a horrible play on words. They out of pocket for that. You don't use the word paralyzed on a man that survived after getting, shot in the dome and shit. What really happened in the shooting of Cabañas. Since then, many versions have suggested what happened that early morning when the Paraguayan was shot in the head and struggled between life and death, ultimately ending his sports career. However, a new version has recently emerged that revives an old theory. Salvador Cabañas was allegedly shot for messing with actress Arleth Terran, who at the time was supposedly the partner of Edgar Valdez Villarreal, better known as Labarbi, and who was a member of the Beltran Leyva drug trafficking group. According to journalist Annabelle Hernandez, in her new book titled Emma and the Ladies of the Drug Trade, coño, she got a lot of books, huh? I ain't read all her books. In her book Emma and the Ladies of the Drug Trade, why was Salvador Cabañas shot? Annabelle Hernandez touches on the subject of Salvador Cabañas in the chapter Labarbi and the Other Dolls, and it is between pages 145 and 145. Oh, okay. When she points out that the former Americanista had approached the actress when she was partner of Labarbi, who stood out in the world of drug trafficking and did not remain with his arms crossed. This is his scar right here. Coincidences surrounding the attack on Cabañas. Following the attack against Salvador Cabañas, and when it became known that Balderas Galzas, better known as JJ, had been the one who shot the Paraguayan, then the former member of Big Brother Silvia Irabien, better known as La Chiva, was summoned to testify by the Capitol authorities because she had a romantic relationship with the aggressor, the former American player. So La Chiva is what? JJ's girl? Situation led to the appearance of in 2010 of a banner on Periférico Sur, a few meters from the offices of the federal judiciary, which was allegedly signed by Labarbi and addressed to Silvia Irabien La Chiva, and where it refers to what had happened with Salvador Cabañas and Arleth Terran, and which provoked the attack by JJ against the Paraguayan because he was a great friend of the drug lord. Here's the manta. Chiva, you know how much I love JJ. I told you to keep quiet and you didn't, so I'm gonna cut off your head. You know what happened to this idiot was because he messed with Arleth Terran and she's my girl. Sincerely, Labarbi. Oh, wait a minute. That exists? Yo, wait a minute. So hold on. These super tough killers, stack heads on the wall, cartel guys, were starting to put their personal, not cartel business, their personal love business on mantas, and I'm supposed to honor that shit? Shut the fuck up, man. No mommy's wait. What? I would never imagine that such a conversation would be held on a manta. La Chiva was summoned to testify by Capitol authorities because she had a romantic relationship with the aggressor. And the aggressor is being JJ. So that's JJ's chick. So he said, JJ's chick, you know how much I love JJ. I told you to keep quiet and you didn't, so I'm going to cut your head off. You know what happened to this idiot was because he messed with Arlette Terran, and she's my girl. Sincerely, Labarbi. But that also sounds like, listen, something sounds so stupid, right? That you think somebody else did it. And not the person that, that sounds so stupid that maybe somebody did that in Labarbi's name. Not for him, but to frame him. Or is that stupid? Because that sounds dumb to me. You could have sent that in a text message, man, to the group chat or some shit. I wonder why Labarbi got so many years. If he was snitching, did he stop snitching? No, he probably snitching right now. They say you still can't find him in the system. I ain't looking for him. This right here is, I can't blame this manta on Annabelle Hernandez, though. I'd like to see a picture of that shit. Let's see if I can find it. We got the two theories now, all right? First theory is JJ walked into the bathroom and said, excuse me, kind sir, would you mind if I utilize this urinal 2 urinals away from you? And dude said, fuck you, hijo de tu madre, motherfucking cara verga, all that shit, right? And boom, turned into a shootout. Second theory is it was a girl situation. Big Brother contestant. Okay, that's no wonder. I'm like, why do they keep saying Big Brother? She talking about the show. La Chiva received death threats via banner allegedly from Labarbi after she declared that the father of her daughter, Victoria, is JJ. Identified as the man who shot soccer player Salvador Cabañas in the head in the early hours of January 25th at the Barbie nightclub. According to the newspaper Reforma, sources at the Mexico City Attorney General's office reported that the threat appeared on a banner, supposedly written by drug trafficker Edgar Valdez Villarreal, hung on the Periférico Sur highway the day after Irabien went to the office on January 28th. The white banner with red and black letters read, Chiva, you know how much I love JJ. I told you to keep quiet and you didn't, so I'm going to cut your head off. You know what happened to this idiot was because he messed with Arlette Terran, and she's my woman. Sincerely, Labarbi. That is the most stupid shit that I've ever heard in my life, if that shit is true, dog. That is ridiculous. Sources from the Mexico City Attorney General's office confirmed that the banner was removed by guards from the federal judiciary as it appeared on a bridge near that building and handed over to the Attorney General's office. The security personnel indicated that the message remained hanging for approximately 20 minutes as they received orders to remove it. However, the PGR officially reported that no banner signed by Edgar Valdez Villarreal, Labarbi, nor any other that might be implicated in the Cabañas case was turned over to the Federal Public Prosecutor's Office. So somebody says that they turned it over. Somebody else says they didn't turn over nothing. You could have sent somebody to hand her a note. That's more terrifying, no? She's my woman and only mine. And they removed it. However, the PGR officially reported that no banner signed by Edgar Villarreal was turned in. If such a report exists, it was indicated that it would have been sent to the Attorney General's Office of Mexico City, which is conducting the investigation into the attack suffered by the soccer player. On January 27th, Irabien testified before Mexico City Attorney General's office that the father of her daughter is the man known as JJ, although she knew him as Jorge Diaz Treviño and not as José Jorge Balderas Garza, as the Mexico City Attorney General's office identified him. Days later, La Chiva requested police protection for fear of an attack. Interviewed by telephone yesterday, La Chiva says she was unaware of the threat against her. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what you're talking about, she responded. And when the message on the banner was read to her, the winner of Big Brother 2, she remained serious for a few seconds and reiterated her position. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything. I already sent out a press release. That's all I have to say. I appreciate your call. You know that when I can, I'm there. Delighted. But it's a subject I no longer want to talk about or continue with because it's really ruining my mood. Sylvia said she was fine and living with their family. Well, we're fine, getting back to life. We're calm, especially my family, and everything is fine, thank God, she affirmed. Do you have special protection? I don't want to make any kind of statement seriously. They asked me to stay out of this. Arlette Terran, who according to the banner is supposedly linked to Labarbi, is the godmother of Victoria, daughter of Irabien and JJ. But yesterday, she was unavailable for interview because, according to her assistant, she spent the entire day filming the telenovela Zacatillo. Last week, Terran stated that she saw JJ a few times at the bar when she went there with La Chiva. She was with the guy's partner at some point. She was with this guy's partner at some point, you can't deny it, but I'm not going around looking after my friends, nor am I one to forbid them, interfere, or tell them who they should or shouldn't associate with. That's their own business. Terran affirmed that she hadn't been to the bar for at least 2 years and no longer liked the atmosphere, the place, or its reputation as a dive bar for exotic dancers and partying soccer players. It's not a place I condemn because everyone has their own taste, but it's not a place I would frequent. According to Mexico City Attorney General's office investigation into the attack on Cabañas, JJ could actually be an operative for the drug trafficker Labarbi. Margarito Cruz Ramirez, Balderas Garza's driver and bodyguard, stated in his official declaration that during the 3 years he worked with him, he only knew La Chiva as a romantic partner and a woman known as La Flaca. According to his statements, the bodyguard indicated that his employer regularly stayed out late at the bar and nightclub known as Las Vegas. Lucero Suarez, producer of Zacatillo, the telenovela in which Arlet Terran is currently starring, said that for the moment they don't plan to reinforce security measures around the filming. Security will be the same. I'm not going to reinforce it at all. Besides, Arlet basically films on a soundstage, and I have no reason to do so. Suarez says she was unaware that the actress's name appeared on a narco banner. I didn't know she knew this man, the aggressor. I had heard that it was La Chiva who knew him. But this is the first I've heard of Arlet. He said that so far her performance as an actress has been the usual. Her work is like everyone else's. She's punctual. There hasn't been a single problem with her, he noted. They reported this manta, but we have no image of it. That's strange to me, right? They supposedly turned it over, but it was never turned over to the prosecutors. That's strange to me. Did it happen? Did it not happen? Why did they report that it happened? If nobody saw it, who, I don't know. It's always shady, man. Always. Mexico City's Attorney General's office reported that the threat appeared on a banner, supposedly written by drug trafficker Labarbi. I love an image of that shit. The theory is not proven, as the accused denied knowing the drug lord. Apparently, the celebrity spoke out of turn and then received a threat from Labarbi. Message was left on a banner that appeared hanging over Perico Avenue. Barbie allegedly threatened La Chiva. Allegedly, but where is it? That manta is sounding like bullshit. Unless I hear Labarbi say that he put that shit up, that's sounding like bullshit. Bullshit. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not going to... I don't have there's no love lost for this guy. But I'm not going to put smut on his name that shouldn't be there. I heard him in this interrogation, Labarbi, I heard him acknowledge mantas and being the person that makes mantas. What I did not hear was him specifically mention that manta. 14 years after the attack against Salvador Cabañas, more details are revealed about what happened at bar that night. Even though JJ was arrested and is already serving his sentence, the cases reveal new details. But he was arrested for some other shit, though. Stop lying. 14 years after the fatal accident that injured the Paraguayan player, the topic has resurfaced as more details have emerged about what happened inside the bar restrooms. Crime reporter Carlos Jimenez, better known as C4 Jimenez, shares some previously unclear details about the attack on the former soccer player. In his podcast, Criminally, he shares some details that were not revealed during the investigation of the case because he followed the coverage of the event and was able to find out how the authorities came to arrest a collaborator of the Beltran Leyva cartel. According to what crime reporters shared, the first person to enter the bathroom was the former Eagles player, followed by JJ and his companion known as El Contador, as revealed in the bar security video that were released after the attack. They stopped to go to the bathroom. Salvador Cabañas gets up, goes into the bathroom, and JJ follows him in. Outside, a guy they called the accountant, who was JJ's companion and helped him with the sales account, stayed outside with the Colombian girl. Once inside the bathroom, he confirmed that it was JJ who started the conversation with Cabañas and questioned him about his lack of goals in recent matches. Not only in the defeat they had that day against Monarcas 2-0, that event would have motivated him to talk to the striker. He corroborated the official version, which described that a Bar employee witnessed everything as he was a restroom worker. This shit makes more sense to me. He corroborated the official version, which describes that a Bar employee witnessed everything as he was a restroom worker. That would have been the phrase with which the drug trafficker began the conversation with Cabañas. Because of the way he said it, the Paraguayan became uncomfortable and raised his voice. That to me sounds, what do we say all the time, that these guys are so tender. You know, the lack of a handshake could lead to 100,000 deaths. Some guy that don't play soccer, because it's always the guys that don't do a motherfucking thing that want to tell everybody how to do the motherfucking thing. He want to go over there and shit talk dude because fuck dude, who are you? And then dude says something back and it's a death sentence? Fuck you. That's what sparked the argument between them, at which point José Jorge pulled out his gun and put it to the former player's head. But what wasn't known was that Salvador Cabañas dared him to shoot, believing he wouldn't. Cabañas tells him, pull it. Dude, pull it. See if it's true, JJ. JJ and his level of power that he felt for being a trafficker and the level of respect that he felt he should have, pulled it and shot him in the head. You deserve everything you got coming to you, dog. Shout out Shannon. You'd be surprised how often that jealous nonsense happens, Shy. It's fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Motherfucker don't know shit about kicking a ball but want to come tell me and had to follow me to the bathroom. You so self-important, you had to follow me to the pisser. Why didn't you talk to me in front of everybody else outside? Why you follow me in here for? Shit's crazy. What the investigation didn't reveal was the caliber of the weapon. According to Jimenez, it was a small caliber, which is why Cabañas survived. He had a small caliber pistol, and thanks to that, he didn't die. The bullet entered, hit his skull, told you it was skullduggery, traveled a certain distance, and then traveled backward. He also clarified that everyone inside the bar knew who JJ was and his relationship with Labarbi, and the detail that helped in JJ's arrest. What detail was that? All right, we got some information. I'm not buying the girlfriend story. I'm not even buying the manta. I would put that smut on dude's name only if he cops to it. If I hear Labarbi say, yeah, I put up a manta where I was like, I love him, and she's my woman, and all of this shit, then I'd believe it. But they're not showing it to me. It got Annabelle involved in there. Yeah, everybody likes that juicy story of the you know, the actress and the narco and all that shit. I'm not buying it until he cops to it or JJ cops to it. I don't believe dude went in there all nice and shit. That sounds more like it, don't it? Don't that sound way better than, excuse me, sire, would you mind if I occupied the stall directly adjacent? You think he did that? Or you think he went in there and said, cabrón, vales verga. You don't know how to play no fucking soccer, man. You're trash, bro. I should slap the shit out of you for sucking as much as you suck. And then they keep going, and until somebody says, hey, man, why don't you shut the fuck up? Now they all mad and butthurt, and then they cry with their gun out and shoot you in the fucking head. I ain't coming here to bother you, motherfucker. Came in here for relief, bitch. You went in there, and you instantly disrespected the man. Treated him like a piece of shit. And when he responded, you didn't like that shit. Well, stop following men into the bathroom anyway. That shit's weird. Fuck is wrong with you? Argument sounds more likely to me. It just sounds natural. Let me ruin this guy's career because I'm a bitch-ass hater. Disgusted. Popped him because he missed the shot. Didn't even pop him because he missed the shot. Popped him because he didn't willfully eat the shit that I wanted to shovel down his throat for missing that shot. No? I think that was it. That was more likely. Did they know each other, or did Cabañas think it was just one of the Mamabicho fans? Probably knew who he was. Or didn't. I don't know. All right, let's go. Let's get into Dude's story. So the guy tells him, so you chose this route. Why? What happened? He said, who knows? What were you thinking when you were a child? I tell you, when I was 13 or 14, I wanted to be a priest. Imagine that. What a sudden change. I had a good transportation company because they don't talk about that. He mad. They don't talk about all the good stuff I do. There's a front. You want us to celebrate your front? They don't talk about my transportation company. JJ paid taxes and the government took that money. That they don't want to talk about. I did that for several years. They don't talk about that. Hit that like button if you have yet to do so. So you was in the United States, you made some money over there, you came to Mexico to start a company in transportation.
¿Qué se llamaba?
Que se llamaba, pienso, MPS.
Uh-huh.
He's so proud of these companies that he wants them to talk about, right? He's so proud of these companies. They don't talk about my companies and how much we pay taxes. What was the name of the company? You didn't know shit about that company, bro.
que se llamaba, pienso, MPS.
Look, he even shrugged his shoulders. Can't write it, man. Stranger than fiction. MPS, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. What are you asking me for? Why would I know? Where was the base? Qué sé yo. Por acá, por allá, over there, over here. Who? What do I know? He said there was no, it wasn't a big company. It was 2 or 3 trucks. Oh, come on now. Now you're walking it back? Now it's not even really it's just a small company, 2 or 3 trucks. We don't have a location, none of that shit. We don't got a name. Nah, you blowing it out of proportion. Oh, you mean your transport trucks?
Empresa grande.
2, 3 camiones de transporte.
Sí.
Ajá.
Que había un chavo que se encargaba de eso.
Yeah, there was just a guy that was in charge of that. That's it. Me, I just put money. Look at him. This guy, I could see this guy walking in and shitting all over that soccer player. And that soccer player telling him, go fuck yourself. And him doing the whole movie shit and trying to take his head off. It was registered. We paid taxes, for a small company that you guys should talk about. This guy is wild, boy. He's like, yo, they should talk about my companies. What's the name of your company? Que sé yo. Taxes were paid, though. You could make ends meet with that job? You could get ahead? No, not really. But, Oh, I'm not even sure. I don't even know what I made doing that job. 3 trucks, 1 employee, we paid taxes, and I don't know what they paid me. We're discerning if what was the reason for the shooting in the bathroom. Was it over a woman? Was it over him being disrespectful, or did the soccer player start it? My vote goes to it was him being disrespectful. Forget about the actress as far as I'm concerned. Forget about the manta that may or may have not happened. Forget about La Chiva, all of that shit. It's as easy as you're a shit soccer player. Fuck you. Boom. That's it. He said, I don't know, maybe between 40,000, 60,000, maybe 5,000, a couple thousand, que sé yo. Oh, that's a good amount. It's a good amount monthly. Yeah, but it's nothing. Nothing compared to how things are done here. Your family's still in Sinaloa? Yes. What did you tell them? Nothing. I left home when I was 17 or 18. Never went back. I think I visited my mom once a year after that. And now for the past 4 or 5 years, I haven't seen her. Oh. Doesn't he sound like the guy that would walk into the bathroom? Because this is what he said. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But he walked into the bathroom and said, excuse me, sire. Would you mind if I utilize the receptacle next to you? To empty my bladder, sir. Thank you kindly, in advance. That's what he said, and dude told him to go fuck himself. He loved his mama, boy. Of course he would go in there and be polite and have the soccer player disrespect him and then try to take his head off. Of course, he didn't say nothing. Not this guy that doesn't go visit his mom. He didn't say nothing disrespectful. Of course not. I only talked to her occasionally. Yeah, they knew, because in the United States I had problems, and they found out. And what did they tell you when they found out what you was up to? Nothing. They didn't tell me nothing. There was nothing to say. It's not like I was going to listen to them. I lived alone. Yeah, but sometimes, people are thoughtful about parents and family. Simply put, I didn't come up with my family. I left for many years. I was alone, away from home. Well, to this day. You left very young, at 17. What would you change? And he said, of what? From being 17 until today. He said, nothing, man. I would have made sure dude in the bathroom never got up. He wouldn't change nothing. Today you got handcuffs on. Well, what do you mean you wouldn't change nothing? No, there's a price to pay, no? Can you tell me what happened today? He said, where? In Mexico City. When did they see you? At the house. Nothing. I was watching TV and they showed up. What time was it? Around 1 in the morning. Where were you at? In Bosque? Yes. Big house. Is it yours? No, it's rented. And what happened? Did you offer any resistance? No, there was no time. There were other people in the house. Me and Rios, I thought it was them trying to close the door. And they couldn't close it. How many people were with you? 2 guys that work with me and 3 family members. Thought you don't fuck with family like that. What is it? Which one is it? And what happened? Nothing. The officials showed up. The officers. They arrived and everybody went to jail. What did you think? Nothing. It's over. You didn't try to resist? I thought about it. He said, I thought about it, but then again, you see me here. I thought about it because my intention was not to go to jail. I'd rather die. Sounds to me like you're willing to talk. So I think you was okay with the going to jail part. I'd rather die because I don't know how they're handing out years. But whether it's 5 or 60, so what you're saying is heavy. You would have preferred to die than go to jail. If I had the opportunity, you had the opportunity. You didn't take that shit. That was my intention. No, it wasn't. That was my intention, but at the last minute, what was your intention? To shoot and get killed? Yeah. But I know I couldn't. I was alone against 10 or 20 police officers. Well, that's called dying rather than going to jail. You see the conflict? You know what I'm saying? And people be mad at me for pointing it out. No, it exists. It's there. These are real psychological things happening. Real things happening. Real decisions being made. Motherfuckers can say what they want, shoulda, coulda, woulda afterwards. It was my intent, it's what I wanted to do. I would rather die than go to jail, but I couldn't because there was 20 of them and one of me. If this was happening in a movie, we'd call it a plot hole. No? It'd be a hole in these people's logic, bro. I'm already feeling like I've debunked the manta and the girl, and unless somebody show me the manta or one of them talking about it. But he's sitting here telling you how he ready to die, but he didn't want to fight because he would have died. What? You didn't have weapons with you? Yes, there were weapons. Did you take them at some point? Yeah, they were in my hand. It was one in my hand. I was looking at it. That's not how it works. If you look at it, it ain't gonna bust off. When I heard the commotion, I stopped to see why they were trying to close or force the door. Then one of the guys came out and told me the federal police are here. He said the federal police had arrived, and that's when I reacted. I grabbed the gun. No, that was when you didn't react. You grabbed the gun, then what? Then they switched off to a different conversation. All of this was before January of last year, before the Barbie incident. So it was a normal day. I didn't get into trouble with anyone. I was quiet. I was a good neighbor. I was quiet. I tried not to make a scene, so people wouldn't even know if I was there or not. He's talking about his normal day in the neighborhood. In a building or a house? House. Normal like everybody else. I'd get up early. I'd do exercise. Prepare myself for the day, for anything that might happen. When I went out on the weekend, I'd occasionally go out and party. Did you have friends who weren't necessarily involved in drug trafficking? I had a lot of acquaintances. They were drinking buddies. Not necessarily friends I hung out with. There were people I hung out with at clubs and restaurants. Before the incident at the bar, did you receive any kind of protection from any authorities? The escort I had belonged to the state police. This is cooperation. No, he's snitching right now. So all of that, I'll die before I go to jail. Miss me. He's telling you the state police was his security. It was a service that I was legally entitled to through a company citizen owned. What? I applied and I wasn't exempt. They accepted me without me having to pay bribes or anything like that. So he's saying he had legitimate security. They had the opportunity to deny me this legal security, but they didn't. So now he's saying legal security did that shit. After the bar, everything changed. They stopped accepting money. He said, well, I think some of them stayed for a while. As they were moved around, the new ones who arrived didn't want any trouble or had commitments to someone else. Did you stay in the state of Mexico? Yes. The state of Mexico. I never left. Like they said, I never went anywhere. I didn't leave the state or the district. How did you live during the 1 year? I didn't go out. I had everything I needed in the house. I'd see information, everything that came out from there. There was no need to go out. When you found out Salvador Cabañas survived, what did you think? He said that security shot dude. That's what the article said. The article said he said that in this interview, it's seeming like he's saying that. It's seeming like I didn't do that shit. He said, what was your thought when he survived? He said, how lucky is that, huh? How many people you know? And he shrugged his shoulders too. Look at him. This guy's a jerk off. I didn't think nothing. How lucky, huh? How many people you know take a bullet to the head and survive? He said, luckily the bald guy, El Pelao, that a term of endearment? Is that something you'd call your friend? It wasn't his turn. Were they friends is the question. Do you want to tell me about the incident at Bar? The only one that could tell you is Salvador Cabañas. He could tell that. And it'd be the same version? Yeah, unless he doesn't tell it for some reason. Was he known to you? Nah, only from the bar. I saw him several times there. See? Barbie said they was friends. Greet him normally, and maybe that's what he meant. Do you have favorite famous friends, soccer players, artists? He said not necessarily friends, but they were people, you saw there, you hung out with. Not necessarily friends. Is it true you had girlfriends, artists? There's many stories around JJ. Isn't one of them that you had girlfriends or artists? Some. I think he said only one. He said nothing, a normal relationship. It's been a while since you last talked to your family, If you had the opportunity to speak to your brothers and your parents, your mom, we've talked about this. No, I wouldn't. I have nothing to say. We've talked about this many times. Yeah, man. You touch a guy like that's ego, he'll try to knock your noodle back. El valiente muere cuando el cobarde quiere. The valiant dies when the coward decides. His attitude in this interview alone lets me know that he walked in there shitting on dude like the employee said. Walked in there shitting on dude. Dude told him where he could go fuck himself at. Buddy's ego was little and, Cabañas was no angel. Evidently he wasn't. He told dude, hey man, a fuck are you? All right, you're seeing the moment where Cabañas rolled up on the scene, accompanied by his wife and a friend. Papa, Ed, he went there with his wifey, bro, who is his ex-wife now, but he went there with his wife. You right, Shy. Don't trust a motherfucker that don't talk to his mom. She got to be a piece of work for that to be okay. This is him arriving at the spot. The new thing here is that at this moment you can see Salvador Cabañas entering Bar, and almost at the same time, wearing a light-colored jacket is JJ. You see him right here. This is JJ right here, looking like a salsero and shit. Looking like Andy Montañez. Looking like Tony Vega in the streets. They arrived seconds apart. They practically even made eye contact. Come on, man. What does that mean? Practically? Is that them walking right here? Or did y'all cut? Don't tell me that it was seconds apart and then you cut. See, they cut. You can't tell me casi al mismo tiempo and expect me to believe that they had eye contact when you didn't show it to me. But this was misleading for them to say they damn near made eye contact. They're not even in the same frame together. All right, boom. This is Cabañas going in, getting patted down. Are they going to search JJ? Where he pulled his 22 from? All right, so this is JJ right here. Okay, seconds apart. How many seconds? A lot. Look, this guy, that guy, these guys. Nah, man. The wife. Yeah, that one dude walked in without getting checked either. Look, no patting down for your boy JJ. Nobody need to know where JJ's hammer's at. We just let JJ walk right through. No worries. Let me tell you, that guy lucked out, bro. Lucked out that it was a small caliber. And maybe he was right about dude shaking. Because to survive that, and I'm sure he has residual effects, but to survive that and actually be able to stand up and talk and make a sentence and all that shit, it's crazy. Listen, we don't have hard evidence or proof. And again, everybody be lying. But I think we use common sense over here to debunk these situations. And I feel like I personally, I don't need to hear the actress theory anymore. To me, that shit is out the window. This was two dummies in a bar talking crazy to each other, and the shit went left. Yeah, man, I feel like it's debunked. I feel that was just two drunk dummies in a bathroom. One gun. I think we debunked it, y'all. That actress, she got her name dragged through the mud. I need to hear somebody credible mention this manta. I see no traces of that manta anywhere. Honestly, I don't think Barbie has anything to do with that other than protecting dude. That's it. Hiding dude. That's it. I don't think he has nothing else to do with that story. Real talk.